Welcome to Proof Live, where booze brands in the right hands. On a quest for the best tipple and toast with the most exciting and respected bottlings. Competing for the 100-point Perfect Score Century Award and the double gold and a spot on the top shelf to be sipped, shaken, stirred, and celebrated. Slide up to the bar with the biggest names in the spirits game as they clink glasses with your hostess, legendary connoisseur Jennifer English, for intimate conversations, live tastings, product launches, and the happiest hour there is. Now, broadcasting live from the commodious confines of the swanky Proof Saloon, where the liquid elite meet, here is your hostess, the Madam of Manhattans, the Duchess of Daiquiris, the Queen of Conviviality, your hostess, James Beard Award winner, Jennifer English.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am so excited because we're going to slip into a little Bajan spirit today. One of my favorite places on the planet is Barbados, part of the ABC Islands, where the warmth of the sun and the soul and hospitality of the people make it one of the greatest islands to visit at any time of year, and certainly one of my all-time favorite places to spend spring break at. And when one discovers those things that a place is famous for, you can understand why they become intertwined. There are certain foods and flavors and sips and lands that just become one. Barbados and rum is one of those great combinations where you can't hardly think of one without the other, although the beaches are quite beautiful. And certainly the horse racing is more famous than people might know, but we'll get to that when we talk to our guest today. There are some distilleries that are very famous because they have ubiquity. They're everywhere, and they're big, and they're wonderful, and their products are some of our favorites. And believe it or not, in this modern era where everything seems like bigger is better, there are still some practitioners of the family arts of distilling and family-owned businesses. Today, we're going to talk to Gayle Seale, whose family-owned distillery is one of the best in the world at doing what they do. It's not just that they produce rum, but they produce one of the world's great beloved rums. And I will tell you that as the Duchess of Daiquiris, I'm thrilled to welcome her today. Gayle, welcome. Gayle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to Proof Live. I'm so thrilled to have you on. You're wearing your Daiquiri Queen t-shirt.
Yep.
And I am the Duchess of Daiquiris. We are related.
We're definitely going to be good friends.
It's destiny. It's absolute destiny. How are you? How is everything in Barbados? I know for a lot of the audience, snow is falling and it's cold and it's winter and we're dreaming of tropical vacations and tropical sips. Would you tell us a little bit about how things are today in Barbados? Because you look pretty warm and mellow and happy.
Oh, I am very warm. I'm in an air-conditioned office. My office is air-conditioned, but outside it is absolutely tropical. It is about 89 degrees outside.
Wow.
Sunny, beautiful blue sky. There's not a cloud in the sky. I'm just looking out. I'm surrounded by palm trees, and it's great. We're actually on a full lockdown right now, so we don't.
Tell us about that, because we don't hear about that in the news.
Yeah, well, starting Friday, normally I get up on a morning and I go for a lovely cliff walk because we're allowed to exercise between 6 and 9 a.m. And as of Friday, they're shutting that down for the weekend and putting us on full lockdown into our own homes. Unfortunately, we had a fantastic run up until Christmas. We had very few cases of COVID arriving, and they were mostly arriving on planes, and we didn't have any community spread. But since Christmas, it's kind of been a bit of a nightmare. And so we're trying to get a control over it. And we've locked down before, so we can do it again, but it's not ideal. But there is nowhere better to be locked down. I'm going to be honest, there's no snow. I can sit outside in my garden and there's still sunshine, and I'm wearing flip-flops and a t-shirt.
Well, we're going to send swift healing to your entire community and hope that everyone gets through this okay. So please know that. And, you know, I don't want to deter tourism, but if tourism came at Christmas and everything came with it, this just is such a great reminder for people of maybe soon, but not yet. And
Exactly.
kind of keep that in mind.
Well, Barbados is still open. We have a system in place where now you have to quarantine in a hotel or in a government facility for 5 days. And that's not a long time. And you know, a lot of people that come off, they're coming for 2 weeks, 5 days isn't long. If you're coming for a week, it's not so great. But it's a way of catching anything coming in. You have to come with a test and then you have to get another test. And once you're cleared, you're free. So we are open to tourists, but it is not really the right time to come this next few weeks because we are on a lockdown.
Let's just talk about rum.
Yes.
How did Barbados and rum become synonymous? And how is Barbados, well, let's start there.
Well, Barbados is the home of rum. I mean, the first use of the word rum is from Barbados. Back 300 something years ago, I think it is. So we've been making rum on the island for a long time. For us, at our distillery, we started as independent bottlers. We were not rum distillers. Everybody had to buy from one refinery and everybody could tweak it. So it was very much like the Scotch whiskey industry where you were an independent bottler. But in 1994, my husband decided that he could make better rum. And we went off to Italy, found an Italian petrochemical company branching into distillation, and built our distillery together. So it's a really interesting thing because we hadn't been making our own rum before. We'd only been blending. So this is really his baby from start to finish. So it makes it really special to be doing our own thing in our own way. And we stuck to the traditional methods. I mean, Barbados is famous for having the pot still and the coffee still side by side, single blended rum, a word that I'm hoping people will start to understand.
So wait, say that again slowly.
Single blended rum. So, I mean, when you talk about single blended whiskey, people know it's, you know, two whiskeys from two different stills, usually two different distilleries. But at Foursquare, we have our stills are side by side. So our rum is made from a pot still and a column still. So they're side by side. So we call it single blended rum.
Oh, okay. So everything about it is on campus, in your house. One of the things I wanted to have you talk about, Barbados is not the biggest island in the world, but
14 by 21 miles.
But the sugarcane that comes from there is only part of your story. Would you talk about what rum is, and in particular for Foursquare, what Foursquare rum philosophy says rum is?
Okay, so rum there's 3 ingredients in rum. You have water. We're very lucky in Barbados. We're a coral stone filtered. Our water is coral stone filtered through the island, so that makes it very special. Second ingredient is yeast. We use a dry active yeast as opposed to naturally occurring yeast, which is what they use in Jamaica. Final ingredient is one of 2 things. It's either sugarcane juice, sugarcane syrup, or molasses. We generally use most molasses, but we are now, for the last couple of years, we have our own little cane crushing plant, and we're doing sugarcane juice and sugarcane syrup. So basically, rum is a product from sugarcane. The water makes it very special. Water from Barbados is different to water from Jamaica, to water from, you know, the French islands. So to me, that's what rum is. That's what it starts as. And that's all it should be. There should be nothing else added to rum. So for us, it's all about authenticity. And something that makes Foursquare rum really special is, as I said, we have our 2 stills. We have a traditional Caribbean double retort pot still, and we have a coffee still. And when we barrel, because barrel aging is one of the best parts of making rum, we actually blend before we barrel, which is something very special to Foursquare.
So come back to the pot still. There is something so distinctive about the pot still that allows the richness and earthiness of the mash that goes into what you're making.
Exactly. It's
really more beautifully, and it's part of the tradition of rum making. And not everybody makes rum the same way, and you made the choice to do it. When I sip, when we sniff, when we share a sip of your rums, what tells us that it's pot stilled?
That's kind of a hard one for me because everybody smells it differently. Like, like we never give tasting notes because of everybody's palate is different. But I mean, for Barbados, it gives you those warm caramel notes. It gives you a little bit of, tiny bit of tropical bananas. For me, when I smell it, it's to describe it for me, it's like smelling home because we always smell like rum, if that makes sense. But it's very delicate and balanced and soft when you smell Barbados rum, as opposed to if you're looking at maybe a Puerto Rican rum, it's very light, very floral, I find. And then if you're looking at a Jamaican rum, it's so deep and funky, and the flavors are like there in your face. But Barbados rum is a little more delicate and balanced and soft in their flavors, I think, kind of in between.
I love how elegant Barbados rums are. And I wonder what part of the overall culinary and cultural tradition that reflects. Because it's almost as if you sip the rum from each country, you get to know the soul of each country. And so when you sip a Barbados rum, you get to know Barbados. I mean, I know that sounds like maybe kind of woo-woo, but it really seems true to me that if you've ever been lucky enough to go, it's like, yep, this is what I'm sipping.
I think you're right. I mean, like when you sip a Barbados rum, it's almost like you feel like you're in Barbados, like you're part of a Bajan family. Like you feel like instantly that's where you are. And for us, another special thing we do is everything we bottle is done here at Foursquare. We don't ship out our bottles anywhere else. Nobody else gets to bottle our brands. And it's something really special so that our product, no matter where you are in the world, tastes exactly the same. It has the same quality control. Because some products in different spirits are bottled in different countries for the particular palate of a country, where for us, we bottle Barbados rum in Barbados and ship it out. So wherever you are in the world, it should always taste exactly the same as if you were right here.
Do you happen to have a bottle with you?
Oh gosh.
It's okay.
I'm like under my desk. I've got.
So let's talk about Durley's rum. And that's a beautiful bottle. The label's amazing. It has the number 3, which I want you to talk about. And I want you, please, to describe all of the ways that your product is meant to be what you offer and how it's an expression of the intention you have to teach people about rum.
That's a good question. So our rums, Barbados rums, are rums you can trust. If it says 3-year-old rum on it, it's 3 years and above. So Dorley's 3 is an aged white rum. It is 3 years old and higher. Any of the expressions you get from Foursquare or Mount Gay or St. Nicholas Abbey, if they have a number on them, you can trust that with your heart. I mean, that's kind of a given. For the way to use our rums, everything and anything. I mean, one of the things we always say to people is, they'll say, well, how should we be drinking your rum? And we're like, drink it how you like it. So if you want to drink it with ginger ale, drink it with ginger ale. You want to drink it neat, if you want a drop of water, you want an ice cube, it's all how your palate enjoys it. So I would never say it needs to be this way. Like I'm a daiquiri girl, as you saw on my shirt. I love it in a daiquiri. A lot of people will say, oh, well, it can only be a white rum. So, I use Dorley's 3 in a daiquiri, but my go-to signature daiquiri uses Dorley's XO, which is 8 to 10-year-old rum. I have made rums with a 62 proof 11-year-old rum, and it's amazing. I mean, can I give a little shout out to what I think is the best daiquiri in the U.S.?
So I'm going to give everyone a chance to grab a pencil and to pay attention, because we are now going to get the best daiquiri in the United States from the original daiquiri queen herself. And before we do that, we're gonna leave a cliffhanger. We're gonna do a quick break for a commercial message, and when we come back, the world's greatest daiquiri, according to the daiquiri queen, Gayle Seale, is here to share with us. We'll be right back after this message.
Need a push getting your spirits, wine, or beverage brand into the hands of consumers? Interested in winning medals like a double gold award? Proof Awards 2020, the ultimate beverage competition, can help jumpstart your brand into the hands of beverage buyers. Enter the Proof Awards. Be a part of the Proof Awards marketing campaign with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. All of our judges are buyers, and that's what sets our awards program apart from the others. Our judges head the beverage programs for restaurants, bars, nightclubs, casinos, liquor stores, big box retail, and national wine and spirits distributors. Your brand will be tasted by buyers from more than 15 states across the U.S. We have hundreds of categories to choose from at www.proofawards.com. Be seen by 12 million readers with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. Get tasted and rated by buyers. The 2020 Proof Awards competition is open for spirits, wine, and beverage brands today. Proof Awards 2020, moving brands into the marketplace. www.proofawards.com.
Whether you are thinking about becoming a restaurateur or you are already in the business, Michael Politz has written a must-read, the Food and Beverage Magazine's Guide to Restaurant Success. Pick up your copy today at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, or wherever fine books are sold.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Gayle Seale Daiquiri, as presented by the Daiquiri Queen herself. Here is the recipe. We're going to leave it up there for a second. And then we're going to ask Gayle, where do you think fine daiquiris are made? Is it in the intention, the ingredients, the conviviality they foster? What makes such a great daiquiri?
I think the ingredients are the most important part of making the right daiquiri. If you're using the wrong lime, it's not going to taste right. And if you're not using a good rum, it might not taste so great. Sugar syrup's pretty much sugar syrup. You can be using sugar cubes, you can be using sugar syrup, but also with that, I mean, if you're not using a good quality. So to me, the ingredients are the most important. And then the bartenders that are making them. And even if you're making it home, you got to put love into it. And you've got to put your feelings on. To me, the daiquiri is almost like scrambled eggs. So if I go into a bar and you can make a really good daiquiri, I will try anything and everything on your menu. But if I go into a bar and I get a really bad daiquiri, I will order a glass of wine next. Right. It's one of those things, and that has very, very rarely happened to me. I am very spoiled in that I get to go to some of the best bars in the world. And I get, it's kind of a strange thing. I mean, I'm a little Scottish girl who grew up in Toronto, who ended up in Barbados, and I can go into a bar in most places in the world, and the bartender will automatically make me a Gayle Seale daiquiri because they know me and they know it's my favorite thing. And I always feel so bad because if I'm going out doing client visits and things like that, I want to order something cool off the menu first. And then, of course, I'd love to have a Gayle Seale daiquiri, but I usually get the Gayle Seale daiquiri first, and I'm like, oh, it's so good, but I feel a little spoiled.
I love that. What does a Gayle Seale daiquiri pair food-wise beautifully with?
Oh, anything light, like a beautiful fish dish. I mean, or ceviche or something like that. Like for me, anything very, very light and refreshing goes well with it. So like my choice, like ceviche 105 is one of my favorite places to go. So like I love ceviche and a Gayle Seale daiquiri.
And where do you go in North America for some of your favorite versions of a great daiquiri food pairing combination?
Oh my gosh, there's something. My favorite place, and I feel really bad because if any bartenders know me, they're going to be Gayle Seale. How could you not choose me? But Kevin Berry at 3 Dots in the Dash in Chicago is one of the best bartenders in the world. But he does a twist on the Gayle Seale daiquiri, and he uses a pineapple shaved ice. And when I tell you, it's the best. And of course, Ian Burrell, who designed this cocktail, he's like, it's not real. And I'm like, no, Ian, it's the best. It really, really is. But if I'm in Miami, there's Swizzle does an amazing Floridita Daiquiri #2 with Probitas, which is Foursquare and Hamden rum together, and it's insane. It's one of my favorite. There's another bar called Spanglish, and Manny there, like just watching him do the flair and build a daiquiri for me, it's one of my favorite places to stop in. So Miami is one of my kind of favorite haunts because it's if I'm traveling to anywhere in the U.S. or pretty much anywhere in the world, I go via Miami and I overnight on the way in and the way out. So you can get an amazing one at Sweet Liberty too, which to me is the cheers of my life. Like I go in there and I just feel like family. Like it's one of those things you feel comfortable. I'm a woman in our industry, and sometimes when you're a brand ambassador and you're a woman, it's hard because you're alone in a bar. And, you have to go up to the bar, you talk to the bartenders, you talk to the people around. And sometimes it can be a little intimidating. Like I have been rescued from restaurants twice by bartenders, by somebody who's being a little aggressive. And I'm like, I'm just working. Like I'm honestly, I'm not interested. I'm working. But I find for me, Sweet Liberty is one of these places where I can go no matter what time, day or night, and 3 a.m, and I am still feeling like family and feeling like I've just come home and it's the end of the night. It's perfect.
And I would love to have another conversation with you at another time. I'd actually like to do a panel about women in our industry. And it's amazing. Bridget Albert was on not long ago, and there are some realities about what we face that are really a sort of subtext to the party. That we really want everyone to have. We want everyone to be convivial and feel the hospitality, but in fact, there's a lot you need to know about what we do. But that's another day.
Yeah. And as I say, I'm really lucky. I'm kind of like the mom in the rum world because I'm like a big grown up. So I get a little more special treatment by all the guys out there, all the guys.
You and I, and they call me Mama J on the clubhouse room that we're on. You and I are very similarly situated in many respects because this is just so naturally what comes from us, right? So, I mean, it's what a privilege for both. I mean, I'll speak for me, but what a privilege.
100% privilege too.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fact that you just mentioned some names, some Tales of the Cocktail Spirit Award winner nominee, some of the best early bars that were part of the mixology craft cocktail movement that has now swept the world. And you mentioned one of my all-time favorite people, Ian. Would you talk a little bit about that remarkable cousin Ian? Because he's just a beloved figure in our world.
To me, Ian Burrell, and I feel kind of bad because I'm missing, he's doing a talk on brand ambassadors right now.
Oh, is he?
Ian Burrell is one of the most amazing human beings on this earth. I consider him like my little brother. We've grown up in the rum industry. The first rum show we went to was the UK Rum Fest, which was his show, gotta be about 15 years ago. So we have been friends a long time, but he is something special in our industry. He is not just an ambassador for a brand of rum. He is an ambassador for rum itself. He created his own position. And you can't go into a room and not fall in love with Ian's personality and his passion. And there's no way you can leave the room not loving rum. It's one of those things.
And tell people a little bit about what he teaches and what he reps.
He teaches everything about rum. It's not just a brand seminar. He works like with a little bit of brands, but he has TV shows in London that he does breakfast television and now a weekend one. He literally educates the whole world on how rum should be made, what's a good rum, how to make cocktails with rum, you name it. If it's in the rum world, Ian has probably touched it in some way or form. And, I cannot imagine being part of this world without him. He has shaped me into the little global ambassador that I am.
Well, and just like that, our time has evaporated like the angels share in the storehouse. I want to give you the last word and, of course, remind everybody, what are the labels and brand names we should be calling for when we're traveling the world in search of a little Barbados sunshine?
For us, we do the Foursquare Exceptional Cask range. We do Dorleys. Equiano is a new project we're working on with Ian, which needs to be its own chat altogether. We have a line called Velier out of Italy that's a joint partnership. And in the U.S., the Real McCoy, please look for that because it's amazing. It's a joint partnership with an American family out there, and they are fantastic. I love them. Real McCoy rum.
Put us in touch with them. We will have them on. We'll do a tasting, and we will turn the world on to what you collaborated on with them. Before I let you go, before I let you go, the Daiquiri Queen herself, is there a special toast that you share with people before you clink your glasses of Gayle Seale Daiquiri?
For me, when I clink my glasses, I always say rum family. And that's something I live and die every day.
Well, until we can clink glasses properly, let this suffice. Cheers to rum family.
Thank you.
Need a push getting your spirits, wine, or beverage brand into the hands of consumers? Interested in winning medals like a double gold award? Proof Awards 2020, the ultimate beverage competition, can help jumpstart your brand into the hands of beverage buyers. Enter the Proof Awards. Be a part of the Proof Awards marketing campaign with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. All of our judges are buyers, and that's what sets our awards program apart from the others. Our judges head the beverage programs for restaurants, bars, nightclubs, casinos, liquor stores, big box retail, and national wine and spirits distributors. Your brand will be tasted by buyers from more than 15 states across the U.S. We have hundreds of categories to choose from at www.proofawards.com. Be seen by 12 million readers with our partner, Food and Beverage Magazine. Get tasted and rated by buyers. The 2020 Proof Awards competition is open for spirits, wine, and beverage brands today. Proof Awards 2020, moving brands into the marketplace. www.proofawards.com.